All right. The show has started. Welcome, Idobi.
Adobe.
Welcome, Idobi listeners. If you're tuning in live right now, thank you so much. Make sure you give us a tweet or hit us up on Instagram, screenshot us, send us a message, tell us what you think of the show, and we'll be live tweeting with you guys back and live Instagram messaging with you guys back. Thank you to all of our new subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're growing. All the new viewership. We appreciate you. And to all the crazies, God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. I'm really excited for today's episode. We're going to introduce our guest today here in a little bit. He's one of Idobi's very own in-house people. Super cool guy. A lot of questions to ask and a lot of things to talk about with him pertaining to his work, life, and art in general. Also, yesterday, I just did one of the best hikes of my life, which I wanted to share with you and the listeners, of course. Went to the Bridge of Nowhere yesterday.
Where's that?
Oh, it's about in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Okay.
An hour east of here with no traffic, and it was a 10.5 mile hike.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was so refreshing.
How steep?
That's the beautiful part. It was only an elevation gain of 1,000 feet at a certain point.
Yeah.
But for most of it, it's pretty flat.
Okay.
It's pretty flat. And we were right next to this beautifully clean stream. And
Did you drink from it?
no, I didn't. But I did wade in it a few times. It got my feet nice and cool.
There you go.
And it was absolutely magical, refreshing. At the halfway point, I dipped myself into this beautifully clear part of the pool. The water was so cold. It was starting to get hot at that point.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, it was the best thing ever. My feet were a little sore afterwards, but I feel fine today. Some blisters, but man, totally worth it. Went with my buddy Amir. And if you like long hikes, this is a hike to do.
Okay.
This is a beautiful hike. Now, I've got some warnings about it.
Mm.
For those of you uninitiated in the world of long-distance hiking, go super early in the morning.
Okay.
No matter what part of the time of the year it is, go early in the morning at sunrise. You want to start it at sunrise when you're there because as the day progresses, it's going to get a lot warmer, a lot more uncomfortable. You're going to have all your energy in the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do these type of hikes.
Was it crowded?
You know what? In the very beginning, we saw a couple of homeless people tenting by, and that was about it. And then like a couple people throughout the hike, but on the way back, that's when we started to see more influx of people.
Yeah, I figured.
And that was around, we started heading back at 10:30 in the morning because I woke up at 3:30. My buddy Amir woke up at 2:30, and
Y'all crazy.
I know, right?
Y'all are crazy people.
It was awesome, though. It was awesome.
I'm sure it was. It's just,
It's so
God
early.
bless you all. God bless you for waking up that early. I could never. I mean, I could, but
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Of course, nobody wants to wake up
I
that
know.
early. But yeah. But what was surprising was, we're in a heat wave right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you live in Southern California right now, especially in the Los Angeles area. It's rained a couple times. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, like it's sprinkled on, or like a little quick downpour, and I'm like, well, this is very odd.
I love it when the sun's out and it starts raining because that happened a
Yeah.
couple days ago.
Yeah.
It's just driving and sun's blaring in my eyes, and then I hear on the top of my car. I'm like, is it raining right now?
Very odd. I know.
Sun's out.
I know. It messes with your mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing I don't understand with people. We were towards the end of it, and people were just starting at like almost noon.
Oof.
And I'm like, it's 90 already.
Yeah.
You're not going to survive this.
They're not coming back.
No, we were pretty fit.
Yeah.
And, it was exerting. It's a long period of time.
Yeah.
And in the heat,
Yeah.
dude, you're taking a lot of breaks. You better bring water.
If you enjoyed the stream, think about how much they enjoyed the stream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And what's cool about the path is, like, we were taking a path that would cross it sometimes, and you could actually follow the stream the entire way to the Bridge of Nowhere.
Oh, okay.
And to be completely honest with you, if I was doing it in the middle of the day, I wouldn't leave the stream. I'd
Yeah.
keep walking right beside it or right through it,
Right.
just to avoid the heat, man. It was too much. But the nature, the quietness was just so recharging, man. And then that incident happened. The one I told you before we started recording, which
happened
I can't.
during the hike or
Right after.
right after?
I was about to shower and all that stuff happened, so I went from here to there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The incident.
That's good times.
Good
though.
times,
Good
man.
times.
That's life. That's life.
You look back at it and you smile. I know you do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
How was your short film?
It went so good.
That's awesome.
It went really good. I like I said in the chat, the final shot didn't go the way I wanted it to, and that's okay, because everybody else told me it was fine, and they won't bullshit me like that. And I even described it like after, and they were like, "Oh yeah, there's no way we would have pulled that off." And I was like, "But I want to pull it off that way." But it's fine. It's gonna look good.
Yeah.
We got done at a very reasonable time. It just took us like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's we're doing a 45-second version and then submitting a 15-second version.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah.
very efficient filmmaking.
Yeah, because I storyboarded it and I was like, "Oh, this is too long." But I want this.
Yes.
And so I messed around and I found shots I can get rid of and make a 15-second version, and it works.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy with the 15-second version. I want my 45-second version
Ah.
for personal use stuff.
Okay.
So I'll submit the 15-second one to the 15-second film festival. But I'm going to keep my 45-second one for me and everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I heard you got a really big name actor to do like
I did.
one of the video game characters in it.
I did.
That's
I did.
awesome. That's really crazy
And
that you
get
got
this.
him.
I didn't have to pay him
What?
anything. Isn't that insane?
You didn't pay this huge actor anything.
I got away with words, you know? And they were like, "Oh, anything for you."
Wow.
I get it. Yeah.
Wow.
They were just so excited to be working.
Man, you're something special.
I
gotta
know.
say that.
I know.
man.
I know.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I
I
know.
can't wait to see it. I can't wait to. You haven't told me who this actor is. So
I
I'm,
know.
I'm super stoked to find out who it is.
Yeah.
Can you give us hints?
They have a podcast.
They have a podcast. Okay.
Mhm.
That somewhat narrows it
Yeah.
down.
They were on a certain show called For the People.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Okay, I'll look it
Reoccurring on Good Girls for a couple episodes.
That sounds familiar, the show, but I don't think I've seen it. Are they handsome, the person?
Passable.
Passable?
Yeah.
Would you say? Passable?
Passable.
Passable for handsome? Okay.
You were asking.
I'm just.
We
yeah,
don't know
I
who
mean,
this
no,
is.
Yeah, we don't know who it is.
We don't know who it is.
We don't know who it is, man.
That's right.
Yeah. I know I don't know who it is, but the way you said passable, for some reason, don't believe you.
I know. You just got really angry all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know why though. That's funny because I don't know the person.
You don't know who they are.
Yeah, All right. Well, really excited for today's guest.
I know.
Hey, I'm really glad that your short film went very well
Yes.
because I know you've been planning a lot on it, and I'm
Yeah.
glad it went smoothly.
And once that's edited and done, we go into the second one.
Yes. Oh, speaking of short films and everything, Bad Movie Night with the guys.
Yes.
Well,
Are we doing that soon?
Yeah, we just have to get on Isaiah and figure out when we can get in here and watch it in there because I think this is the place to do it.
He loves pretending to be busy.
Isaiah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have 2 mortgages and I have a baby on the way and I live now deeper into Orange County. Oh.
Stress doesn't exist.
What a loser, man.
I know.
What a loser. Who buys 2
Honestly.
houses in this market? What an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that clip from the Guys Night episode last week. So
Yes.
funny. So funny.
Not my hood, not my country.
Not my hood, not my country. Dude.
So genuine when he said it too.
Yes. Came from his heart.
Yeah.
Came from his heart. Oh my gosh. Well, I think it's time to introduce our guest for today. What do you
It
say?
is. Yes,
All right.
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is Tommy Wooldrige. He is the head of video here at Idobi Radio. He is a super talented guy in his video edits. I enjoy talking with him, and I know you guys will enjoy our talk today. So we'll be back right after these commercial breaks with Tommy.
I don't have anything to do.
What's the longest podcast or you've listened to?
That I've ever listened to?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe pushing 2 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You could, I'm sure there's a world record you could break.
There is. I'm talking about one that you have enjoyed listening to throughout the entire thing without it getting okay, like they should wrap this up.
I'll listen to an hour and a half podcast as I'm on a hike.
Okay. That's fair.
Listen to Armchair Expert.
Yeah.
Dax Shepard's podcast. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you hike usually?
Runyon.
Okay.
I live a mile from Runyon, so I'll walk a mile there, hike for the 3 miles, and then a mile back.
Is it annoying, with the other people there?
In what way? Just I hate people, or?
Yeah. For me, because the reason why I ask is the fewer people, the better for me. That's why, and I felt like Runyon was getting really crowded.
I don't know. Nah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I got my headphones in. I'm gonna listen to music or podcast. Nobody bugs me.
That's good.
Yeah.
You mean you're not hounded?
I get to see dogs. I get to see one dog every 15 seconds. That makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the motivation I need.
Ooh.
Is just seeing more dogs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good that you know yourself like that.
Yeah.
I saw Beetlejuice on the plane. I visited my family in Oklahoma recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw it on the plane, and I forgot how unique it is.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of story structure.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. It doesn't really even it doesn't make sense as a story in a traditional sense, but it's so good. The practical effects, Tim Burton. Love Tim Burton.
The performances.
Yeah.
And the actual screen time of Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is so low.
Yeah, it's
right.
15 minutes or so, I think.
That's actually pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah.
And I love that. I've been on a binge of rewatching old movies from the 90s especially.
That's me all the time. I got my Mighty Ducks hat.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Mighty Ducks movies now. Just so good.
There's something about that time period where there was I'm trying to find the perfect analogy for it, and I don't know if this is correct, but it feels like the height of the bloom of futuristic storytelling in the film medium. I know that sounds kind of crazy, a little pretentious, but I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Never seen it.
Never seen it?
Nope. I've seen the first Die Hard, and then whatever one has Justin Long in it. I know. And I've seen the first Die Hard at least 15 times, but I've never seen any of the others.
The first Die Hard is the one in the L.A. building, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The second one?
Nakatomi Plaza.
Yes. Okay.
With Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, that actor. What's his name?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, not coming. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Die Hard with a Vengeance is the best of the 90s and the best of the best of action sequences and the best of what's the word I'm called? Pacing in a movie I've ever seen.
Which one is that? Is that Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. I've heard that's a good one.
Bro, it's nonstop from the very beginning to the end of the movie, just completely. And one of my favorite things about that film, without giving anything away, is the fact that Bruce Willis's character has a white wife beater in the beginning, and he looks like he has a little bit of a hangover. Actually, it's a pretty big hangover. But by the end of it, the guy is dirty, bloody, just beat up to smithereens. And the gradual progression of that is so beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh my gosh! And what's his name? The bad guy in it. It's please tell me if you know the name. I have to mention this guy's name, and I'm so embarrassed that I forgot about it. He, as an actor, you have like a wheelhouse of characters that you can play, right? Like where you're like, oh, I can nail this for sure. He's doing one of his wheelhouse characters to perfection. Yes, Jeremy Irons is the bad guy in it.
yes. Scar.
Oh yeah,
Scar.
another classic film, The Lion King. Anyway, I think just the 90s, there's this wonderful thing about the 90s films. That's all I'm saying, is that there's just this magic to them that I feel started in the 90s. And yeah, that's all. I feel like there's no other era of those films.
It's the nostalgia for me too. I don't know. I feel like typically on a night, if I want to watch a movie, I'd put on something I've already seen. So I just watch so many 90s kids movies, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's the comfort shows, and it's fun watching as an adult because I can just dissect. Like now, I'm watching the Mighty Ducks movies, and I'm watching and realizing this really isn't a great movie, but I still love it for the kids. The kids are so great. So it's fun. Yeah, I love rewatching the 90s movies.
Some 90s movies are like that, where you're like, there's a lot of plot holes in this that we're not addressing.
Also, even Coach Bombay is like the main character, and I think one of the opening scenes is him drunk driving. It's pretty ballsy for a Disney movie that the main character is drunk driving, and then that's why he gets assigned. Oh, I'm bumping cameras. That's why he gets assigned to coach. And then, yeah, also, what is that? What sense does that make? He's drunk driving, so we want you to coach a bunch of kids. That's how we're going to be even on this.
Yeah.
Coach this this kid's hockey team, and then we'll call it even.
Yeah, they got away with a lot.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Milk Money?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, hold on to your seat right now,
Yeah.
because we might not get monetized just because I'm talking about this film, how bad it is. Oh, I'm being dead serious. Here's the pitch for the story, okay?
Is this a 90s movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Milk Money. Here's the story, Tommy. It's a film where three kids are really curious about sex, okay? So they gather all their money and they pay a hooker. And these kids, by the way, are in 6th grade. They pay a hooker to show them her boobs. She ends up going to their town and befriending one of the kids' fathers, and ends up being like in a relationship with him. And then her pimp wants her back, and so they got to fight off the pimp. That's the story.
I've either seen this movie or watched YouTube reviews of it, because that's stirring something in my mind.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of this at least.
Bro, you know what else was something kind of... Now that I'm talking about 90s films, I'm realizing there's a lot of bad films in the 90s, and I might have to go back on my thing in the beginning. But,
there's tons of bad ones.
But there's tons of good ones, too. Maybe I was just focused in on the good ones.
Did you ever watch Blank Check?
I was about to bring that up, yes!
That you talking about that movie made me think of Blank Check. I just rewatched that recently, too, because it's on Disney+.
Yeah, when she kisses him on the lips.
Yep, a 10-year-old boy is falling in love with a probably in her 30s FBI agent who's on a sting operation, and then she gives him a kiss. And it's the weirdest part about it is just the vibe of the scene, where there's romantic music playing. They've been running in slow motion and fountains at the park.
Right.
Makes you. I didn't think it was that weird as a kid, because I'm like, oh yeah, she's really pretty. But now as a grown man, you watch and think, this is a Disney movie.
It's astounding, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the kiss happens after they've caught the bad guy, and they're all like collecting the evidence in the big mansion, right? And they're on the steps.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
They're in the room with other people around, and she gives him it's not like a little harmless peck on the lips. No, this is like, and you're like, oh, you're a pedophile.
Me feel weird. Yeah. Yep. And they have their nice romantic date, and at the end she's like, we should do this again sometime, just very genuinely, and it's not right. It's not right.
They got away with a lot, man.
Yeah.
A lot of things. And yeah, man. However, I would love to talk to you about Die Hard with a Vengeance. because I
Yes.
saw that last weekend with my family, and
Oh,
we
yeah?
were all enjoying it so much. Because not only that was is Die Hard: A Vengeance story-wise so fast-paced, it the audience is always one step behind, which is good. It like keeps you like in the moment. But each actor, like I said, is doing the best version, one of their best performances because it's their wheelhouse of characters. And Samuel L. Jackson is, man, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Does he say motherfucker?
A lot.
Okay, good.
I
So
said
he's
a lot.
really doing his character.
Yeah. The opening scene is one of the best opening scenes, I feel like, because they use practical effects for it. And
My fave.
it's an explosion on a city block. And you're like watching it and boop, and that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
And then but the rest of the film is it's mostly, I think 98% of the effects are practicals.
That's awesome.
Maybe 95. Yeah. I love that. When it's done correctly, practical effects are so much more genuine and more engaging than the other stuff. Oh, that's something I wanted to talk. This is something I want to talk to you about. Do you think like a film like Beetlejuice, why there's so much appeal to it, is because the filmmaker used this tool in the story, or the writer did? They give you enough of the world where you start filling in the blanks for the other stuff with your own imagination. For instance, the sandworms of the Saturn moons of...
What is that? We don't know. But do we really even need to know?
Do you think that's part of it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've thought about that because I just I've seen it twice now, A Quiet Place 2. Because they don't really explain the monsters any more than in the first movie, which I could see some people being mad about. I want to know where they're from or what's going on. But I think it makes it way cooler and scarier that we don't know what it is. And I think even if they tried to explain it, these are alien creatures that have crashed here to harvest us and blah, 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 it just wouldn't be as cool. It's way cooler that there's a mystery around it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's always an interesting balance, though, for the screenwriter.
Yeah. And also the world of Beetlejuice is so cool. The afterlife, with seeing how I love that everybody is how they died. So the woman who's cut in half and the smoker who's completely charred.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so cool.
There's a moment in Beetlejuice where he breaks the fourth wall a little bit because they're in the auditor or their case agent's office, and the window is a theater with the people in the background.
Yeah. I always thought that was super weird as a kid because I thought it was a painting, but then if you really look at it, they're slightly moving.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. I think maybe that was just supposed to be another waiting room or something. I don't know.
I thought it was almost it's like reflecting.
Like it was us watching in the theater?
Yeah. Like
Could be. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch again.
Yeah,
I'll have to rewatch for the 30th time.
Yeah. Well, it looked also like Michael Keaton was having a blast.
Oh, yeah. He's said in interviews that's the one character he'd want to do a sequel to and go back to. I've looked up for at least 10 years. Every couple months I'll Google Beetlejuice 2 to see what's going on. I don't know if I actually want a Beetlejuice 2, but they've just talked about it for years, and Tim Burton has said, yeah, we're going to do it. And then a year later, no, I don't think it's going to happen. And Winona Ryder announced on some late night show that it's officially happening. And then a year later, Tim Burton's like, no. So I don't know what's going on. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't need a Beetlejuice 2, but I would see it.
The canceled Beetlejuice 2
Yes.
sequel and how horrible it sounded.
Yeah. Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii.
This was real. Look into it.
Okay, what's
I'd
it
watch
about?
it. I watch it. I want it. I want it to come out. I think that should be the sequel.
Canceled Beetlejuice 2?
Yep.
That's the name of it?
Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii.
Canceled Beetlejuice 2 sequel where it takes place in Hawaii, and it just sounded horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was like a YouTube short film called Beetlejuice. Like he's been canceled because he's too like, you know what I mean? Like he
Oh
offended
no! I hope
somebody.
they don't do something like that.
I saw I was gonna screenshot it and send it to you guys for our bad movie night that we want to do with guys night, and it's a pastor's wife dies, so he goes to China for to search for himself. He ends up going to this ancient temple and is infused with the powers of turning into a velociraptor.
Oh yes, I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a trailer. I haven't.
Yep.
At the break, I'm gonna watch the trailer. Then okay,
Yep.
I have to. This is a. Yes.
You can't watch that on Bad Movie Night. It looks like a genuinely great film. It looks crazy.
Oh, you know what? Man, the film we're gonna start off Bad Movie Night, Tommy. It's
What is it?
terrible. It brings me so much joy because it's so terrible.
Milk Money?
No, we're not gonna get canceled. It's called The Stitcher,
All right.
and it's a film that I know a couple people in it, and it was filmed all in Oklahoma. With
nice.
with a couple of people I know, and
So you're gonna laugh at your friends.
I wouldn't say friends. I'd say they're people I've worked with in the past that I'm
all right.
friendly with. One of them I'm friendly with, and the other one I haven't talked to in years. But I'm sure it would be a friendly conversation. How would you describe people like that in your life? Would you call them friends? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would say, I don't know. I say friends very openly.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can get that saying we're not friends, but we're friendly.
We're not friends, but we're friendly. I like that.
I've
That's
heard
cute.
that as a description of exes. Like, are you friends with your exes? Nah, we're not friends, but we're friendly.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of cute. I like that.
It's kind of cute.
That's kind of cute. I like that. Now, for the people listening, you're the head of video here at Idobi Radio, a team of
How
400.
many people? Yes, 400 people.
And I see you guys up there just
Yep. It's loud. So many keyboards.
Oh.
400 keyboards
400
in a tiny office
very
for
tiny.
400 people.
Yeah. 400 IMAX. No.
No, it's the entire team that I'm the head of video is me and Nick Major.
Right.
Two-person team. We're a duo. But I'm the boss and he has to do what I say.
Exactly. And that's good that you're the boss.
That's
'Cause
right.
if Nick was the boss,
Oh, geez.
be a bunch of naked people just on all the videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing but naked people.
Nothing.
Naked sessions, naked interviews.
That could actually work, but that's not, I don't know if Idobi
We
wants
could
that.
start right now.
So you work with a lot of like the video editing, the Photoshop, and
The Photoshop.
the Photoshop. I'm technically an immigrant, so I can say that. The Photoshop in the Final Cut. And I'm always curious, when you're editing something, when do you know it's done for
It's
yourself?
never done. It's never done. Art's never done. It's just abandoned. Have you heard that? Yeah, I love that. That's a saying. Art is never finished. It's abandoned, which I do think is true. Because I made a short film, and if I could, I would just work on it forever. I think I should reshoot this shot, and maybe I should try to do this effect different. Let's do the score different. So I need deadlines to force myself, okay, whatever I get done by this date it's done. And then I'll still work on it after. But yeah, I don't know when it's finally done.
Okay.
I think actually, okay, it's finally done if I can watch it from start to finish and not cringe at something that I can fix. I could cringe at something, but if it's something I can't control, then I just have to let it go. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a
I feel like that's my rule.
that's a good rule.
Don't cringe.
That's the common problem with a lot of people who edit their own work. I feel like, especially actors like me, I can sometimes in the past I would have a really big problem of I need to redo this.
Yeah.
I need to redo this. I need to redo this. And the only times now that I choose to do like 15, 20 takes is when it's things like you said, I know I can change. Or there's a specific beat that I'm like, no, that needs to be clearer, or I can do this part a little better. And when I'm very specific with those things, and then I can look back and go, okay, I've hit this part of the character, I've hit that beat very nice, that transition was good. Okay, it's there. Can I do better? Yes. Can I do 50 more of these? Yes. But I'm happy with this, and I think they should know that I am directable. Or, hey, can he switch it up on this part? Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. And I think editing yourself is the worst thing. That you're the one who has to watch yourself do these things and pick what's the best of this. I don't know. It's me. How can I tell? Because I used to do YouTube videos of myself, and I would have to. I mean, it was the worst thing I ever had to edit because I used to do prank videos that was like social experiment where I would go use lyrics as pickup lines on girls in public, like hidden camera style, and then I would edit the videos. So it's just me watching myself get rejected by girls for hours, and then picking which one's the funniest. Oh, okay, this one I'm really awkward, or this one's great because the girl just flat out said no as soon as I walked up to her, or whatever it is.
Oh man.
And they're on YouTube. That's actually how I got involved with Idobi. I was scrolling Facebook in 2012, and then Blink-182 posted, we're having a video contest. Make a video. The only rule is you have to put our tour dates, and the winner gets tickets to Blink-182 shows for life. And they're my favorite band, like all of high school, and even still, I say Blink-182 is my favorite band. So I was like, oh, I gotta make something. And I just watched a bunch of prank videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh, maybe there's something I can do. So then I went and had my friend film me using Blink-182 lyrics as pickup lines on girls. We would just like walk to the park, and I would walk up and say Blink-182 lyrics.
Yeah.
But so I entered the contest and then won the contest. And then Guns of the Gun Show interviewed me on his show as like the winner of the Blink-182 video contest.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I never knew that part.
Yeah. So then Tom Chaney added me on Facebook, and we would randomly talk over the years. And then after the Blink-182 one, I was like, oh, it got 1 million views. And I was like, oh, I should try to do it again and see if people will watch if it's not a part of a contest.
Yeah.
So I did it again with Taylor Swift lyrics. And then the same thing happened where it got 1 million views and a bunch of people watched it. And then Vivo, the company that has like all the music videos on YouTube, they reached out to me and they said, we really like this. We want to make this a series. So like one full year, that was my job, was just doing these, we called it lyric lines show on YouTube.
Wow.
That was just me awkwardly speaking lyrics to girls.
I love that.
Yeah. And I would have to edit every episode, and every episode just pick, all right, this is the funniest because I'm the worst at speaking here. And it's
That's so brave to do that in public.
I could not sleep the night before the first one. I mean, ever really, but the first one I could not sleep because I was just rolling in bed. Because I genuinely was terrified of talking to girls, and especially just going up and bugging a girl in public. So I just rolled around all night. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to do this tomorrow. I shouldn't do it. I even was texting my camera guy, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, we have to do this. We have to do this. But I think he just wanted to be able to watch me and laugh at me being terrible with girls.
Bro, I commend you for that. That's so brave, and
it's so brave what I've done.
I can't.
I'm so courageous.
You're so courageous.
Yep.
Lifetime Achievement Award right here. No, I couldn't do that, man. Especially now. Maybe, yeah. I can't. Even as a joke, I'd be like,
I couldn't do it now. One, because it's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool anymore. But also, yeah, I have no clue how I did it. I have friends that I've met, in the last couple of years that are just, now that I know you, I cannot believe that you used to do that. I'm like, I can't even believe I used to do that.
How long ago was this?
That was 2012 to 2014.
We all grow. We all grow, man. Listen,
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break right now. And then while we're at break, I'm going to watch this Velocipaster trailer. And then we'll talk about that and more when we get back. So stay tuned. Rick Moranis. He is one of those people which I love how he just decided, I'm not doing acting anymore.
Uh-huh.
Bye. That's my dream someday, just to disappear. and people to be like, where did he go? Literally, and as much as I love all my friends and everything like that, to just disappear from literally everyone.
Yeah.
And just for them to just question and wonder. And
Whatever happened to Wesam?
You know his story though?
No.
Yeah, I hope your story.
Died, and his kids, he didn't want them to be raised without a parental.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So that's why he stopped.
It's a
Wow.
sad story.
Yeah.
Very honorable, though.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Seems like fitting for his character. Freaking good guy.
Very, very good guy. That's, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to aspire to, that kind of honor in your life, and to do the right thing whenever it calls for it.
But
We were talking during the break, man. By the way, I just saw the Velociraptor trailer. And
Pastor.
that's right, Velocipastor
Don't
trailer.
forget the pastor.
I'm so sorry.
That's the hook.
I
The
know.
combo.
This is why I shouldn't be pitching shows. Yeah, man. No, it was. It knows what it is, like you said.
Yeah.
They
know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which had to have been so much fun to film.
Yeah.
Because if it was something serious, if they were thinking this is art, I'm sure that wouldn't have been as fun of a set.
No.
But I also love that it looks like they use practical Velosa and practical pastor.
That's right. Yeah, they knew how they were going to sell this, and plus, I'm sure it was actually cheaper than to digitally put in a real one.
And looks way better than CGI would have.
Oh yeah, that's where I think that Birdemic went wrong. They should have used practicals. It would have been just a little better.
But it also could be even funnier as time goes on, because as time goes on, the effect is just going to look worse and worse. That's the good part about practical. Like, for that movie specifically, and since being bad is the hook,
Yeah,
it could just get better as time goes on.
very true.
Yep.
Very true.
I was watching the first Harry Potter recently, though, and there's a troll, the big troll in the bathroom, that's CGI, and it just looks so terrible now.
Yeah,
But then the troll dies and falls on the ground, and it's practical, and it looks amazing.
I know.
So they should have just used practical the whole time.
They should have. I did a Harry Potter marathon a few months back, and I agree with you, man.
Yep.
You know who? Dude, there's so many things I want to talk about, so I got to remember them real quick. The guy who played Voldemort.
Yeah.
Voldemort. Oh my
Ray
God.
Fiennes.
Amazing actor.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where he's like, Harry Potter, the boy who lived. You know that?
I feel like he does that like 10 times in the series.
He's like, the boy who lived, come to die. Oh, like his voice breaks in it, and
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
that is the most, in my opinion, one of the best moments in cinematic history, because it's the buildup of 7 movies.
Yeah.
And he's just so excited, this bad guy, that his voice breaks whenever he's doing the spell. I don't know. I thought that was beautiful.
I was just playing my friends the trailer the other day for Deathly Hallows Part 2, the very last one, because Voldemort does this scream in it. No! And he does it. They'd have it. We counted. There's 4 times in one trailer that they use the same no. No! It's amazing.
Wow. Do you remember which one?
What trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's hilarious because each time, it's just great.
Say, side note to everybody who's creating trailers for the big movies, you guys are giving away way too much in the trailers.
I agree. I'm very excited I love M. Night Shyamalan and his next movie, Old. I haven't watched a single trailer.
Okay.
I don't know anything it's about.
Great.
Every time the trailer comes on in the movie theater, I'm plugging my ears and moving them around and closing my eyes.
Well,
I'm just trying to avoid knowing anything. I think that would be fun.
they just give away too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, got it. All right, don't need to go see it.
Yep.
Um,
It's not a short film. It's supposed to be a trailer.
Right. Mortal Kombat, we talked about that on our last episode of Guys Night, finally in person with our friend Jonte, because it was so funny. He went to war with Peyton on our group messages, talking about how much he didn't understand the story, didn't like it, blah, blah, blah. And then Peyton explained to him the story, blah, blah, blah. And then what happened was the next day he confessed to us that he fell asleep during the film, and that's why
Who did?
Jonte.
Oh.
And that's why he didn't understand the story. And it was my favorite. It was my favorite, just absolute favorite. Going back to when you know the editing is done.
Oh yeah.
I did. It reminded me of the longest self-tape day I've ever done. And I remember scrolling through, your photos, and you just keep scrolling. There's take after take after take.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did maybe like 50 takes that day. And then I gave it a break. I sent it in, and then I retaped again. I was like, I'm not happy.
After you already sent it?
Yeah, I gave him another take of it
Oh.
because I was like, I'm not happy. And then that was the take I liked.
Oh.
And then the reps liked the second take too.
Oh.
But it was just one of those days where I could have done that, I think, a million times and still not been happy. But then I'll do one take, and I'm like, oh, that was it.
Yep.
That was great. And then I've booked off of those.
Off of the one take wonder.
Yep.
One take wonder Wesam.
One take wonder Wesam. That's another shirt. No, I'm kidding.
I
it's just
want one.
It's very funny how like art and what you think is good sometimes, or what. Yeah, man. It's so subjective, and then the politics of business go into it, and your side of the things. Do you have to get approval by somebody before you submit it, or I'm assuming,
For what? For here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to, everything I do, I send it off and say, hey, what does everybody think of this? Anybody have any ideas, any notes?
Yeah.
And then just see what people say, and then usually get a lot of good stuff back of, did you try this? I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, great.
I do love getting, even in my own personal films and things, I send it to friends and people I trust and just say, what do you think of this? Is this too much? Do you like this?
Yeah.
I love notes. Some people get really almost offended by notes, and I even have close friends that send me things and they say they want notes, but through our history, I know they don't really want me to say critical things. They just want compliments, and that's fine because everybody's different. I love getting notes on things I can improve. If I send something, they're like, oh, that shot is whatever, looks bad, or the actor's not good. They're like, oh, well, I can't fix that, but
Yeah.
it's still good to know. I love getting notes on things on how to make it better.
Did you go to school for like learning how to use the software and everything that you needed for editing, or is that something you learned on the go?
I learned editing through in 8th grade is when I started filming stuff.
Wow.
I started filming. I don't know what it was. I just came home from school one day and was like, Mom, can I use our family camera? And then just started shooting stuff all the time. And then in high school, I did a lot of I called it jackbutt. I filmed a lot of stunts and pranks with my friends. I have video of me in middle school saying, my name's Tommy Knoxville and I want to be a stuntman. And then just doing stupid, very PG versions of jackass things.
Like what? You remember?
Like skating down a hill and falling, but I have pillows taped to me, so I literally didn't get injured. But I just thought that this will be extreme.
Right.
But me and my friends did a lot of stupid crap. But that's how I learned editing. Is I would edit to try to make things look cooler than they were. And I would realize, oh, if I add music, this makes it way more fun to watch this. And if I do this and add effects or whatever it is. And then I went to a 9-month film school in Nashville. I lived in Nashville for 4 years. And then, but when I went and we started learning editing, I realized, oh, I already know all this stuff. So I had a huge advantage of my other classmates just because I had edited so much in high school. And I mean, middle school, I would have to edit in camera. So I would make short films where I would film on the mini DV and then rewind to where I wanted the shot to end and then shoot the next shot. So everything I had to shoot in order.
Oh.
I did a Matrix parody called The Fake Tricks where I played all the characters. The fight scenes were epic. Fight scenes with myself. I was a detective, Sherlock Homie, where I was like a gangster detective.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's really cool though, that a lot of it was you experimenting early on by yourself.
Yeah.
And your love for it is what progressed your education with it as well.
Yeah. That's still going back to medical school. Going back to middle school. Going back to middle school still is. it's so easy to trace when I decided I want to be a filmmaker is I would show my stupid little films to just my parents.
Yeah.
And they were always bad, but then there was one that I remember my dad watching and just going, huh, yeah, that one was pretty good. And then I was hooked. I was like, oh man, he said it was pretty good. I want to do that again. I want to make him laugh, make something that's going to make him laugh harder than that.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of, whoop, for my father's approval.
Yeah. I did it all for my dad.
It was just such an addicting feeling. And then I would started showing to my cousins the things I would make, and they would laugh. And
It's a very addictive feeling.
yeah.
I got to say this. It's something as an actor I've learned to appreciate when people appreciate my work, but it doesn't touch my ego. Because
Yeah.
that can go to your head so quickly.
Yeah.
And I think understanding that it's a constant journey as a creative to always be want to improve and find more creative ways of expressing yourself at the appropriate times too. And that's why I think with your work, it's such an an interesting medium, because what in the 80s, it'd be very difficult to do what you're doing. In the 70s, almost impossible. 60s, 50s, very hard. And you go back to the early 1900s, that stuff doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So then in my mind, I'm still thinking, wow, where's the next huge change in mediums for creatives going to happen? And that's why TikTok and all these social media platforms are so interesting to me, but I feel they're more of the same, just changed a little bit. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. That's why I like Nick's stuff where it's a loop. It's a constant loop. I'm like, oh, that's clever. I know other people have done it, but he does it so well. And it's the jokes are things that we can all relate to, which is also very difficult in terms of being a creative, to do a joke that 99.999% of people can relate to.
Yep.
That's also very difficult. So,
and he realized with his TikToks that if he said no words, that they were more likely to go viral. So almost all of his are silent, which I think is funny. It makes me think of Mr. Bean,
yes,
which is like a modern silent film.
Yeah, man. That's the next level of appreciation I've had within the last few years of people and creatives with their work online, and trying to figure out, okay, then what can I do to really up that as a storyteller or an actor? And
there was a good chunk of time around when I was in the film school, which was 2010. I feel like 2010 to a couple of years after, where a lot of filmmakers were getting films and film deals based on shorts that they would just upload on YouTube or Vimeo. I feel like that isn't happening as much. But that was interesting too, that you could just make a 10-minute short, with your friends, or, scrape together what money you could and then make a 10-minute short. And then people are getting feature film deals like Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie, that it was just like a 3-minute short film with a bunch of CGI that one guy made, and
wow.
And then they bought a deal and made it a huge thing.
Wow.
And then so many others like that. Lights Out, there's the horror movie Lights Out that started as I think a 1-minute short on Vimeo that then went viral, and then now he's doing he did Shazam and Shazam 2 and tons of horror movies.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But it's interesting. Now I'm interested to see how it's changing, because I don't know, at least it feels to me like that's not happening as much, where you just make a 10-minute short and then someone's like, here's a bunch of money.
No, it's not. And
now it kind of seems like you just have to make everything on your own until someone just can't not see that you're doing your own thing and help you out.
Yeah. I don't know where the next few years everything's going to take us, because since everybody has their own streaming service now, and within the next 2 years, all those streaming services are going to have a ton of shows on them, etc. Okay, how sustainable is that for everybody?
Yeah, that's what I wonder too.
It's the streaming wars, I feel, coming up. Which ones are going to really stay on top of things? Which ones are really going to push the envelope? Which ones are going to evolve and change? And I'm just curious to know where you think things are going.
I have no clue. That I do wonder if it's going to be the way cable was, where they're going to start just packaging all the streaming services together, because I already have friends and family that are canceling. There's so many of them now that they are canceling. Oh, I'll get rid of Netflix now, and I'll get rid of HBO and just do Disney Plus and Hulu and, stuff like that, to where I feel like some of the companies have to now be losing subscribers just because there's so many of them. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I always think to myself, okay, what's going to separate you from your other competitors? And the first thing that comes to my mind is content. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're looking for family-friendly things, Disney's probably the way to go. Netflix is probably Disney's biggest competitor when it comes to family-friendly stuff, because they have a lot of shows too that are family-friendly focused, and if they can tune into that market, that's a huge competitor.
Yeah.
But then the rest of them, I'm like, all right. So I'm a big fan of NBC stuff. Okay, you guys have the Peacock. What's going to separate it from other shows? And what's cool about Netflix is they have international. That's the biggest thing with Netflix, is all the international stuff they have on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I have no clue. I haven't. And also the era of shows going on for 10, 11 seasons, I feel is going to be super rare as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I hitting the mic correct? Am I good on levels? Okay, cool.
Am I hitting it correctly?
I'm hitting it. Well, I want to get new mics. I want to talk to Tom about these.
Do it.
Yeah.
Get some nice ones.
Get some nice ones. Oh, I'll tell you what we're going to use the printer for. That's something else I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah.
I want to print new backgrounds. I think that's something we can use the printers for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can print something that big. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'm still deciding. I mean, we got the new look for the show is up right now. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but
yep. I love the colors.
Yeah, stands out, pops. I'd like to do something like that, but a little homier. I don't want people to feel like they're in an alleyway necessarily when they come on the show.
Yeah.
But
just print a background of your living room. Make it just feel like we're at home.
My living room is very zen.
Ooh.
It's very. Would you say that? Describe it as zen?
Yeah, but I'm imagining we print out a background of your living room when you literally live 2 minutes.
Like, why do we?
Studio. We got.
Yeah.
Do it in the studio.
Yeah. I think if things go well, acting-wise, I live with my brother right now. He's a musician, but I kind of told him the next show I get, series regular and stuff like that, I think I want to live solo. So I think when he moves out, we might move the show to the extra bedroom.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, which then I can use it as a legit office space for this show, my self-tapes. But it's funny because the self-tapes I use, because I get a lot of natural light, is in the living room and kitchen. So, I don't need to put any lights up usually, which is so convenient as an actor. I just put the tripod and,
And record 50 takes.
And record 50 takes or one, depending on the mood.
No in between.
I want to talk to you about so many movies because I feel like we share that appreciation with a lot of things. So please watch Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I'll watch it. I'll add it to my list.
What's something recently other than the Ducks, the Mighty Ducks that you watched?
Ducks. I just watched You've Got Mail for the first time last night.
Oh, what'd you think?
Fun movie, super cute. It totally could have been, just with all the technology stuff, it totally could have aged really quickly. But it totally works. It's timeless. It was, even from the very beginning, the Warner Brothers logo turns in all pixely and then zooms out and you're on the computer. I just thought it was great. Great. They had great chemistry. Even though Tom Hanks is a bit of a jerk. He's a little bit of a jerk. He's the businessman, and I was looking at Letterboxd afterwards of people's reviews, and people pointed out there's not really any repercussions for the fact that the big book company shuts down the small company, and then she's just out of a job and her career's over. But then they fall in love. But there's nothing comes of that. He doesn't. I don't know. Maybe that's. I was expecting him to do something of you know what, I'm going to buy your bookstore, but keep it in your name and keep it as the cute small shop and keep running it or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you feel about first of all, I agree with you. The parts that I like about Best of the movie is, oh my God, I just had a stroke on air. And you know what? We're going to wrap it up as I'm having the stroke.
Okay, great.
The show continues on. Make sure to check out the full episode tomorrow on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in live. We appreciate you tuning in. And I am not having a stroke anymore, so we're going to continue the show. Thanks, everybody who tuned in live.
Thank you.
What I liked about You've Got Mail is the parts where they're waiting for the other person to respond, and they're getting like,
Yep.
they're waiting for that sound to come on.
Oh, I also even loved close to the beginning of the movie, after they first show them emailing each other back and forth, they walk all around the city, and almost every shot, one of them is in the background, to where you see they're just in their everyday lives constantly around each other, but just never truly are looking.
Yeah.
But I just thought they were super clever, cool shots, the way they did it.
Very good directing on that one. And also,
yeah, it was fun.
I mean,
Super cute, feel good.
do you write scripts at all, or have you written
I do. I've written one feature.
Okay.
But I've written a bunch of shorts and things. But I got my one feature that is like my ultimate passion project. I gotta make it one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
You think you will? Like soon?
Not soon, because it's definitely it's gonna need some money. There's train crashes. There's creature effects. So.
You mean like Velocipaster
Yes,
creature effects?
It's a sequel to Velocipaster. No, it's a kid's adventure movie.
Oh, nice.
Set in the 90s. So it's all the things I love. That's really what all the movies I want to make is kids adventure type things. Goonies, Sandlot, Hocus Pocus.
I saw Goonies on the plane.
Oh yeah? And Beetlejuice?
Yeah, it was a very nostalgic plane
this
ride.
is my kind of plane ride.
Right? I gotta admit, the Goonies lost some of its appeal to me while I was watching it for some reason, and I can't put my finger on it because I've always thought in my mind, like, I love the Goonies. It was one of those films I watched as a kid. I got excited watching it. I wish that would happen to me. I don't know what happened during
You grew up and your soul died.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can get it. It's definitely not. It's not even a great movie. I just love it. One, for the nostalgia, and I mean, the kids are hilarious.
Yeah.
One thing I love about the Goonies and Sandlot both have in common is the kids are constantly talking over each other, which is really how kids talk, and I think they nail that. And I always wonder, because in my movies, I want it to feel the same way, but it's hard because you have to have lines that are moving the story forward. So then how do you find that balance of telling kids, just, say what you would really want to say?
Yeah.
But then, how do you balance that? I have no clue. But that's what I feel like Goonies and Sandlot nails, is just having the kids constantly giving each other shit and talking over each other.
Yeah. I guess one of the things I was disappointed in, I thought there were more traps whenever they went underground.
Oh, yeah?
And it just happened so quickly where I was like...
I kind of, I feel like that I experienced that a lot, to where those kinds of movies where I'll watch and realize it's not as exciting as it is in my mind, or even as like looking at the poster makes it feel like, oh man, this is going to be a rip roaring adventure. And then you watch it and it really isn't that crazy. But I feel like for me wanting to make those films, I love the idea of chasing that feeling. I want to make how those movies make me feel just thinking about them or seeing the poster.
Yeah. And I think that's so challenging in script format because there are so many little details which I want to put in the script because in full disclosure, I don't know if you remember that one script I did a table read for the pilot and stuff. No, I might have told you about it.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
Okay. Well, we did a couple rewrites and everything, and we're in the process of pitching it, and it's gotten some really good feedback. So, but while me and Isaiah were writing this, my buddy, we were like, man, there's so many little details we want to put in, but we realized we can't. We got to lean this down. And then this is all stuff whenever it's being produced that we got to mention.
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about that too.
And so I'm like I've dipped my hands into like, what's it called, novel writing. And I'm like, this is even more difficult.
I couldn't do it. I already know I couldn't write books. But yeah, my first draft that I wrote a couple of years ago of the script, I was like, this is my first feature. I'm gonna set no rules and just write as much as I want. And it was like 160 pages, a bit long for a kids film. But I always knew I'm gonna go back and cut out a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So then I did another draft that was 117 pages, and then now it's like 102, I think.
Okay.
What?
I just got excited.
Oh yeah.
Here's an idea. I'm pitching you this. This is the next phase of movies, going to the movies.
Oh man.
Okay? It's not a couple hour event. It's a few hours event. Okay? You have an intermission.
Mm-hmm.
The seats are cozier. You grab a snack. You grab some food at intermission, and then you go back and you watch the other 2 hours. So it's like a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Bang Bang had an intermission.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. That's the next adventure.
Or just a double feature.
Double feature.
A double
okay.
feature. They should bring double features back.
Yeah.
2 for the price of 1.
That would be good. That'd be a good idea. But it's an adventure one. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. But I get antsy, and I can barely sit through one film.
So you wouldn't even appreciate your own idea.
No, I wouldn't. I just want to make money off of it.
Yeah. Just want to sell it.
Yeah, man. Do you get these bursts of inspiration, like excitedness sometimes, or you want to do a bunch of things? I'll give you an example of one that I thought that was going to be good because I wanted to make somebody happy and pitch them an idea when I dressed up as Trash Cat and I came into the studio.
What are you talking about? That was a freaking hoot.
So embarrassed.
Oh,
But it was.
Trash
I
Cat.
admit it. I missed it. But I got too excited doing it.
I love Trash Cat.
I'm glad you did.
I want him to come back.
But
Bring
you know what I
back
mean?
Trash Cat.
No way. What do you ever get those bursts and then do you ever follow through with them, or you're just like?
I don't dress up like Trash Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I get bursts. It's difficult though. The motivation, I don't know. It's so hard. But I wrote a quote on my chalk wall at home that's like, action comes before motivation, and that really struck me. Where I'm like, oh, that's true. I just gotta do it, and then the motivation will come. You can't just sit around waiting for the motivation.
Yeah.
But usually when I'm in the thick of thinking about something is when I'm most excited. I have to stand up. And walk around when I'm like talking out a scene, or
Yeah.
a lot of times I'll just talk to myself as the characters to try to figure scenes out.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I do that with Isaiah. That's how we
Oh,
get
yeah?
the dialogue for a lot of our characters and stuff like that. That's the best way, I think.
Have you seen Thunder Road?
No. What is it?
It's a indie movie. It was originally a short film called Thunder Road. This filmmaker, Jim Cummings, wrote, directed it, and stars in it. He's the lead as a cop at a funeral, and it's his mom's funeral, and it's just really awkward. I think the whole short is like 15 minutes, and it's one take of just his eulogy at his mom's funeral, but it's hilarious and sad at the same time. It's a really weird feeling.
Yeah.
And then he kickstarted 200,000, I think, and made a feature version of where he stretched out that idea, and I love it so much. It's so good.
Wow.
But yeah, he I don't remember how this popped into my head. What were you talking about? Action comes before motivation.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. This is part of the show. We're on so many branches right now. We can't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. We're gonna die if we look back.
It's so good. It's so good. But definitely check it out. That his writing process with his writing partner is they will just act scenes out over and over and over and over with dialogue and record it the entire time. And then when they get to a point where they are acting it out and they're like, that's the scene, they stop and then listen to the recording back and type it. And then
sweet.
That's what the scene is. Rather than they don't just sit and start writing the scene. They just, okay, so what's the scene about? What do we want to, maybe it starts like this, and they just do it over and over. I think that's a cool process.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I'm gonna start recording them next time me and Isaiah do that.
That's my phone. I'm obsessed with this movie. It's my phone background, Thunder Road.
Oh, wow.
Check out Thunder Road. It's on Prime.
Okay. If I watch Thunder Road, you gotta watch Vengeance.
Deal.
Okay, and we'll talk about those two films. Do This is the last thing I want to mention. Do you like films with long takes?
Yeah, I think long takes are super cool.
Children of Men.
Oh yeah, great one.
Have you seen that, Peyton? No. Children of Men.
Yeah, that movie.
Talk about
That's art. Awesome behind the scenes too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a film that explains enough,
Yeah.
but doesn't explain too much. And basically, the premise of the movie is the human race, for whatever reason, women cannot produce children anymore. And so they have this thing where it's like the youngest person alive, because that's the last person who was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person like passes away, and everybody's like depressed, and then
that person's like a celebrity for being the youngest person in the world.
yeah.
I can't remember how old they were. Were they 19 or something? I don't remember.
Yeah. And then like because the countries are in turmoil because they're losing populations, they can't feed, they're going into like unrest. People are trying to get into the UK. There's like a huge mass influx of people trying to get in, and it follows this character around town. Which, by the way, that bombing where he's getting the coffee.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
amazing,
bro. I love when you're watching a movie and you're like, okay, where's this scene going? And then it just slaps you in the face with like action. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And there's so many moments like that in the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Tommy, this was great, man.
This is a hoot and a half.
I'd like to have you back on whenever
Yeah.
you've watched those films, and then we can do more movie talks. I think we should include you, Peyton, as well, because I know you love movies as well.
Yes.
And we'll do
It's my favorite talks. The movie talks.
movie talks with Tommy. I think that'll be really, really fun to do.
I'm down.
Yeah. And if people want to follow you on Instagram, what's your Insta handle?
Insta is Tommy Can Picture It.
Great.
Yeah.
That's really clever. I like
That's
that. You know, Peyton, play us out, man. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Thank you to all of our live listeners. Thank you to the YouTube people. We appreciate you for watching us. Make sure you subscribe. And I hate saying this, but if you want to get notifications, just hit the ring thing and give us what?
First time he said click the bell.
Woo! Click that bell. Click that bell.
You know why? Because I've never clicked the bell ever, and I don't want to make anybody.
You're not
else
supposed to say that.
Okay, well, click on it. You'll make us happy, and it'll help us get into the algorithm, so more people can see this. We can get bigger, better guests, and we can evolve our studio and give you guys more giveaways because we're bringing back Make Wesam Laugh at some point. At some point, a lot of promises. Life hits you fast. Okay. Thank you to all the listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And, always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye, guys.